Hey yo, what's up guys? I'm Lauren.
And I'm Casey, and we are the Matzick Bros. Alright guys, so let's get right into the reason you clicked on this video. So you want to learn how to take amazing landscape photos, and with these 5 quick and easy tips, we're going to get your photos from looking like this to looking like this. So let's jump right into it. Tip number 1 is a very common tip, but we feel like it needs to be said because of its importance. It's to have a wide-angle lens. So right now I'm using a Nikon 24 to 70mm. This lens is great because it's a general all-purpose wide-angle lens. But you could even use a telephoto lens such as a 70 to 200 if you wanted to create more of a zoomed-in look on your photo, such as this. So basically, there's a lot of different lenses you could use for a landscape, but generally you want to go wider than not, unless you're going for a very specific style photo.
Tip number 2, lighting. Probably one of the most important tips on this list because you'll use it in all types of photography. That said, the best time to take landscape photos is hands down the golden hour. The golden hour is just an hour before sunset and an hour after sunrise. The reason the golden hour is the best time to be taking your landscape photographs is because it'll give your images a nice vibrant look to them as opposed to midday shooting. Here's a quick example of what it'll look like if you photograph midday. And here's an example of what it'll look like if you photograph in the golden hour.
Tip number 3, composition. Composition is extremely important in landscape photography. What you want to do is look for things like leading lines, like a log in the water that's going toward the end of the photo, like this. And don't always put your horizon dead center of the frame. Don't be afraid to put your horizon at the top half or the bottom half of the frame. Another big tip when it comes to composition is the rule of thirds. With the rule of thirds, basically picture your frame in a tic-tac formation. 2 lines going down and 2 lines going horizontally. If you're photographing a landscape with a subject in it, try to put the subject on one of the 4 points, not just in the middle of the photo. This can add more dynamic to your image and give it a way more appealing look. Another way you can get creative with your composition is to get low to the ground and put an object in the foreground of your image, like this.
Tip number 4 is metering for the sky, which basically just means to expose for the sky. A common misconception people have when metering is they meter for the entire image instead of just the sky. When you meter for the entire image, that's going to take your whitest whites and your blackest blacks and try and combine them into one. The problem with doing this is you'll lose some detail in that sky, and when you lose detail in the sky, you can't recover that in post-processing. But if you meter for the sky, your sky won't look all blown out, and you'll still be able to recover those shadows. This is what an image looks like when it's metered for everything, and this is what an image looks like when it's metered for the sky.
Tip number 5, movement. So you might be wondering why you want to look for movement in a landscape. When you have a little bit of movement in your landscapes and a long shutter speed, you can create a really cool effect. The movement could be things like water, cars, or even the sky. You'll have to play around with the length of your shutter speed to determine how much blur you want in your image. So for example, water. You could have a really long shutter speed and create this really cool silky smooth effect on the water that looks like this. Or if you wanted to capture every droplet, you could have a really fast shutter speed and get a cool image of water crashing on the rocks. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed these 5 quick and easy tips to make your landscapes way better than they were before.
Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and these tips helped you in your photo adventures.
Don't forget to comment on this video if you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below.
And lastly, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content like this. Peace!